Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing Boxcars. Now, you probably have already guessed it. We are indeed back with James Sinclair's phenomenal series from Artisanal Sudoku. And this time, it seems like there's a bit of a theme around trains. There's Boxcars, which is the first one. The second one, I don't know if San Luis Obispo is meant to be a item around. No, I'm off. Like I'm definitely on the wrong track here. Excuse the pun, certainly not intended. Anyway, Sleuth is standing there outside of some boxcars, which apparently is American for a bunch of freight trains and cars. Not something that I was familiar with until I actually had to look it up for this particular title. Now, what else am I going to mention before we take a look? As usual, what I've done is, on the off chance that this is a very quick puzzle, I've actually put up a second puzzle that we can jump onto if it ends up being a very quick solve. I did notice, however, that both are using the exact same variant, and it kind of could look like trains, even if San Luis Obispo has nothing to do with trains. Anyway, enough ranting from my part. Let's take a look at today's puzzle and rule set with Boxcars by James Sinclair. And I'm guessing these are all like train cars in here. Maybe that's the front kind of leading towards the back, I don't know. And the following set of rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. He does explicitly say all the clues are standard in that killer cages and thermometers, and that's actually it in terms of variant. So if you're already familiar with this, as always, you can just jump right ahead with links in the description down below. Just on the off chance you're not familiar with those variants, quick walkthrough of those. Killer cages means the sum of the digits inside each cage is equal to the small number in the top left corner. James doesn't actually have to mention the fact that the numbers do not repeat because all of the cages are 2 cells long and therefore they're always in the same column, row, or box. One way of demonstrating this, if for example this is a 2, this would have to be a 5 to make sure that these 2 cells add up to the 7, which is the given digit in the top left. These two are 16, 12, 5, etc. Then last but not least, we've got thermometers. So digits on thermometers increase from bulb to the tip. So that's the bulb of the thermometer, that's the rest of that thermometer. Essentially, the digits must increase as you go further away from the bulb. So if this is a 2, for example, this would have to be 3 or higher. I don't have to have regular steps, so the fact that this is a 3 doesn't necessarily mean that this is a 4. This could be a 6, for example. What I cannot do is at any point start decreasing as I get away. 4 is clearly less than 6. I've broken the thermometer and the rule sets. That's all the rules we have for today. Fairly straightforward. Couple of variants to get us going, and with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. Right, 3 cage, we've actually got 2 of them. They can only be 1 and 2 in 2 cells. 4 can only be 1 and 3, and the 1 is clearly not here, so that's our first digit, 1 and 3. 1 next to the 5 means that this has to be a 2-3-5 cage. It can't be a 1-4 cage. 19 is also forced, can only be 8 and 9. It's actually true here as well. 8 cage with the 1 and 2 gone, and actually in both of them, these have to be 3-5. The 5 cage in there, not so obvious actually. We'll come back to that. 16 cage in here is forced, this can only be 7 and 9. 7 and 9 with a 12 cage, well 9-3 is gone, 5-7 is gone, this can only be 4-8. Now this cell can't be 1 and can't be 4, so this has to be a 2-3, therefore this can't be a 3 because you've got a 2-3 pair looking at it. That's got to be 5, that's got to be 3. 2-3 in here means that's got to be 1, that's got to be 2. To be fair, we already knew that. 2-3 and 1-2-3 all looking at this cell. So this is the higher one of the 6 cage. 6 can only be done in one of 2 ways, 1 and 5, 2 and 4, and you can see the 1 and 2 are not available in this cell. This is 4 or 5, this is 1 or 2. Can actually, no, I can't. Right, 7 cage, let's have a think about this cell. Not sure it's so obvious actually. Everything else has been. So I'm kind of wondering if I should just look elsewhere, although I am running out of space for things to look at. 8, 9 in column 5, that means that can't be an 8, that's got to be a 4, that's got to be an 8. 8 in here now gives me 9 and 8. This is not 8 or 9, 14 and 2 cells can only be 5, 9 and 6, 8. The 8 and 9 can't be in here, so this is the 5 or 6, this is the 8 or 9. That's not resolved, however. Okay. 8 gives me 9, gives me 8, doesn't still help me with my 7, 9. And the 2 and 3 are still not resolved. This is not resolved. This is okay, interesting. So there's a bit more involved clearly for this puzzle. 1, 2 pair, not very helpful. This is not including 1 or 2, 7 and 9. Right, we'll move on. Maybe the thermometer, probably worthwhile taking a stab at that 7 cage. Yeah, go on then. Right, 7 can be done in one of 3 ways in 2 cells. 1, 6, which would have to be in this direction. 2, 5, which would have to be in this direction. And 3, 4. And that 4 tells us that would be the 4, that would be the 3. No conclusion, though. Right, this thermometer then can't be 1 or 2. And you can see that the maximum is not 9 or 8. So I imagine this is actually very restricted. Let's just think. 3 can't be 4. It can be 4, actually. Can be 4, can be 5, can be 6. The maximum is 7 because we've got 8 and 9. So there's 1 degree of freedom in here. 4, 5. And presumably that also means that there's a 3, 4. It does give me a 3, 4, 5 triple in the column now. Anything else that I'm missing? Not sure there is. Okay. What about this one? Same kind of logic, not 1, 2, or 3. So I'm actually thinking this is potentially forced. 4, 5, 6, 7, because it's not 8 or 9. That is forced. 4, 5, 6, 7. That helps me with the 9, 7 down here. That 6 helps me with this 5, which helps me with this 4 and 3. That 3 helps me with this 5 and 3. That 5 gives me 4, and therefore needs to be paired with a 2 in the 6 cage. And this is 1, this is 2. This is not 2, this is not 5. This is not a 4 either, so this is forced. This is 6, 1. 6 in here gives me 7 there. 3 in there gives me 2 and 3. 8 and 9 are still available. Actually, no. 5 gives me 6, which gives me 8 to complete the 14 cage. 2 and 3 are also resolved. So that's all the variants done. So that means we're basically down to Sudoku at this point. 4. I need 1 and 2. That's 2, that's 1. In here I need 1, 5, which can only be there in 5. 1 and 7. That can only be 7. That can only be 1. Down there I need 1, 2, and then 6. That's lovely. What else am I looking at? Probably these cells. Let's just think about this combo. Not as obvious. Anyway, 1 is here. Can probably finish all the 1s now. Yes, we can. 2 is not quite. And not quite in here either. This 4 tells me 4 is in one of 2 cells. This is not very helpful. 2, 2. So essentially we've got a 2 X-wing before we've got all the 2s. So moving on from 2s, I need a 3, which can only be down here. This is done. So 3 is there, and 3 is here. Right, another X-wing for 3, 4s. In here. Few more options there. Few more options here. This is not going too well. Probably not thinking enough about the geometry, such as like these 2 cells have to be 8 and 9. Actually, they're not resolved still. Never mind. And these 2 cells are also 8 and 9 to complete the row. These have to be 4, 7, and 6. 4 is not here, so this is 6 or 7. This is 4, 6, 7. In fact, this is 4 or 7 specifically. And this is any of them. What about these 3 cells? I have I need a 2. No, I've got a 2. I need 4, 6, and 7 again. Interesting. And 6 has to be in here. So this is 4 or 7. And this is any of them. What about this column? So no 6. I mean, what do I need? I need 6, 7, and 9. So this is 6 or 9. This is 7 or 9. And this is any of them. Not an 8, obviously. These 3, I need 6, 8, and 9 again. Well, not again. It's 8 and 9. This is any of them. And this is any of them. This is not going swimmingly well, let's be fair. 7 is not in these 2 cells. That's a 7, which gives me 6, which means this is not a 6. That's a 4, 6 pair. That is not a 6. That is 7, 9 pair. That is a 6. That's not a 6. That's not a 6. That is a 6. That might give me all the 6s, actually. Yes, that's not a 6 either. That is a 6. And I think that's all of them. That's 9 6s, isn't it? We're missing one in here somewhere. Yep, it's here, which gives me 6, 2, and 3. Lovely. Not this 3. This 3. This 2 means that's not the 2. That's the 2. Excellent. And here we need a 5 and then another 7, 8, 9. Not as useful. This is 8 or 9. It gives me 8, 9 in the column. That means I need another 4, 7, and a 5. In fact, 5 and 9 in here. That means this is the only place for an 8. That's a 9. That's a 7. That's a 9. That's an 8. That's a 9. That's a 6. I can't type. That's a 5, I meant to say. That's a 5. That's a 9. This is 4 or 7. It's not a 7. That's 4, 7, 4. I think it's starting to come together. That can't be 4. This is 8, 5. Not 4, therefore 4, 8 or 9, not 9, 8, 9, 4. I need a 9, which can only be in here. 5, 8. I need 5, which can only be there. And if I've not made any mistakes, well, any other mistakes, that's a 7 for the finish. When it's under 10 minutes, I would be up for another puzzle. And the fact that it feels like it's some kind of theme that maybe I'm not quite getting does make it interesting to me. Now, San Luis Obispo. Yeah, I'm not quite getting the references. Hopefully some of you guys are, and you can let me know down in the comments. No need to actually walk you through any of the variants. They're exactly the same. They're killer cages, they're thermometers, and they're normal Sudoku rules. As always, link in the description down below. There will be a second one. So, quick restart of this one. And let's see what's going on. This feels like a very long thermometer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No. I was thinking it's forced that this has to be 2. That's not quite. I mean, these are essentially 1, 2, 3. That can't be 1. But essentially, I do have a degree of freedom in here. 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9. This is obviously a 7, 8, 9, 24 cage. This is a 6, 8, 9, 23 cage. That will probably give me the 7, the 8, the 9, and the 9 in here. Lovely. Where do I go from here? So I'm kind of surprised this hasn't resolved, admittedly. 7 cage in 3 cells can only be 1, 2, 4. That gives me 3. That's 2. That's 1. I'll try that again. Sorry. That would be 3, 2, and 1. Therefore 1 in here. Excellent. Doesn't help me with these still. 15 cage, is that meant to be interesting? This is not 1, 2, 3, or 4, so this is at least a 5. In fact, I mean, let's think about this. 1, 2, 3, that can't be 4 or 5. It can be 5. This could be 6. So that's kind of the minimum values in here. 2, 5 with a 7 and this being an 8 actually works. Let's have a think about this for a second. What else can it be? Because 6, 7, 8, and 9 all look at these cells. So realistically, this is a maximum of 5. This is a maximum of 4. And therefore, this is a maximum of 3. Of course, it could be 2 as well. And this could be 3. Can it? Yeah, 3, 5. And this can't be less than 5, of course, because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. That can't be a 3 either. That's 5. That was forced all along. That means that this is 6, 7, 8, and this is 7, 8, 9. If I had paid attention. Not forcing anything there, though. So these two cells add up to a substantial value, potentially. And therefore, it's limiting my options for this cell. So the minimum is 2 and 6, which is 8. And therefore, the maximum is 7. And then the maximum would be 4 and 8, which would give me a minimum of 3. So 3, 4, 6, with a 5 in here. It does mean that 1 is at the top. I'm not sure I have much more to go on. Interesting. Okay. Do I have something similar going on? 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. It means that this is 4, 5, 6, but no resolution. This cell is not 7 or 9, and obviously can't be an 8 because that would be 10, 9, 10, 11. So this could be, it's not 7, 8, 9, nor 5, nor 6. So this is a maximum of 4. Actually curious it can be. 4, 5, 6 works. And then of course it could be 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, potentially 5. Because this can't be 8. None of these could be 8 actually. So that means it's not 7, 9, or 8. And in fact, this cell, because it can't be 5 or 6, this is a maximum of 4. That is much more helpful. That removes a few degrees of options, and there you go. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 as well. Kind of wondering if I'm actually getting the construction of this puzzle. I seem to be like rapidly moving around all over the place, but I don't know if I'm necessarily... Interestingly, this thermometer is essentially the same, just the reverse of this. We've got 7, 8, and 9. Look at this thermometer, and none of them can actually be on here, and it's the same logic in there. Can't have 1 in any of these, can't have 3 in any of these, and again, the 2 can't be there, and can't be there. And this can't be a 4 or 5. So this is a minimum of 6, 7, 8. So there's also 1 degree of freedom in here. I'll be honest, I'm not quite getting it yet. Should I be thinking about the 16 cage more than I am? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So everything that's left is 6, 7, 8, 9. Which I guess is essentially what I did with this cell here, and it hasn't been exactly useful. I'm kind of wondering if this box has more of a key in this box as well than I'm seeing. Maybe it's time to think about the 16 cage. So the maximum would be 6 and 5. That would be 11. Then I'd need 2 cells that add up to 5, which is quite achievable. The minimum would be 4 and 5, that would be 9, and then 2 cells that would add up to 7. And with 4 and 5 gone, that would be 1, 6, which is again achievable. So 4 and 5 still forces a 6. And obviously if this is 4 and 6, that's still a 6. If this is 5, that's still a 6. So there's always a 6 inside here. Interesting, but not hugely useful. And if it is 5 and 6, it can still be 1, 4, or 2, 3. So it doesn't force anything else in there. Maybe these thermometers, the fact that this is not 1, 2, or 3, tells me that this is at least 4. And obviously given this is 4, 5, or 6, that is not 4, 5, 6 anymore. So that's 4, 5, and then this 1, 2, 3, 4. Then up here with 7, 8, and 9 already placed, I think that's a digit. That's got to be 5, that's got to be 6, that's got to be 4. And this is 7, 8, or 9. And in fact, it's even less than that because that's got to be 7 with that 6 looking at it. And that's not a 7. And that forces the rest of this. So that thermometer clearly helped. And I probably should be able to do the same here. So it's essentially these two cells were forced. No, these two cells that were pointed out by the 789. So that's slightly different than what's going on in here, where the 1, 2, 3 is not necessarily doing the same thing. But 7 is gone from this cell. And as far as I could tell, this can still be 4. Interesting. That also is not 7. Or 9. That's a 6-8 pair. Interesting. What am I missing? Cell is not 1. But it's fine being 2. It's fine being 3. It's fine being 4. It's not 9, but can be 8. If it is 8, that would be 8. That would be 6. That would be 7 or 9. I mean, it's all fine. If this is 6, this would be 9, 2, 7, 3, 6. If this is 8, this would be 7. And then it'll be 3, 4. This cell is not 4, 5, 6 or 7, 8, 9. It's another 1, 2, 3. Maybe I should be pencil marking more. This is not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 8. This is 7 or 9. No 1 up here. Not very useful. No 9 there. No 9 here. Again, not very useful. Yeah, I'm not getting it. Right, thermometer time. I mean, thermometer, then we'll get onto the 16 gauge. I think in general, what I find with my solutions is I don't spend enough time pencil marking when it comes to thermometer. So if this is 2, that would make this 2. That'd be 1 or 3, that would be 3 or 4. Yeah, still tons of choices. Right, let's think about this cell. So, if this is 4, 6, that would be 10. And therefore I would need 1, 5 in here to get the remaining 6, since 2, 4 would be gone. If this is 4, 5, that would be 9, and I need 7, and essentially 1, 6 would be the only option. Essentially 2, 5, and 3, 4 would be gone. The only one that seems to have much in a degree of freedom is if this is 5, 6 as an 11, and then these two cells add up to 5, in which case it will be 1, 4 or 2, 3. Now, why is that significant? So 9 and 8 are not here. This is 8, 9. Maybe this is what I should have been looking at all along. That gives me 6 in here. No 6s. Starting to put a bit of pressure in here. Can I do the same trickery? So this 1, 2 is not here. To be fair, very high chance one of them is in there. I know it's not both, because 1 and 2 would add up, would leave a remainder of 13, and these two cells can't add up to 13. So at most there is one of the 1 and 2s in here. It could be both. What happens if it is both? So what happens if I do that? I said something about 3, 4, which would be 7. No, so 1, 2 in here wouldn't work, would it? How am I going to make 16 with this? 4 and 5 is a 9, and then these two cells need to add up to 7. Hang on, 4 and 5, why does that doesn't work, does it? Yeah, it would require 1 and 6, and the 1 would be gone. Okay. So 4 and 6 would be 10. These two cells need to add up to 6, and would require one of those two cells, either the 1, 5 or 2, 4. And then last option, which is 5, 6, which is adding up to 11. And then again, we need these two cells to add up to 5. So that doesn't work. So one of the 1, 2s has to be in here, and it's a maximum of one of them. The second one is in here. Whatever this cell is, whether it's 6 or 7, has to be in here, and it can't be a 7, because 7 is not there, 7 is not here, 7 is not an option in the 16 cage, and obviously it has. So yeah, this is 6, which makes this 5, makes this 4. This is now adding up to 9, and therefore I need two cells that add up to 7, which can only be 1, 6, given 2, 5, and 3, 4 are gone. That's working. Then these cells have to be 2, 3, and 7, which means that's not a 2. Can this be 2? No, because that can't be 1. This could be 3 with a 2 in here, and then with this 7, this can be 8. So, and with 3 in here, this can't be 4, but it can be 5. It's not 6. Could be 7, 8, but not 9. That's fully pencil marked. That's fully pencil marked. This is presumably a few more options. 3, 4, not 5. Technically, I can do 6. Okay. That was more helpful than I thought it would be. So there's another 3, 4, 7 in here, and a 5 to complete the column, which means that's not a 5. And therefore this is 5 with 3, 4, or 7. It's not looking good as a pencil mark. Interesting. So that means I should know what these cells are. They are 1, 4, 5, which means that can't be 1 or 4. So that's got to be a 2. That's not a 2. That's not a 2 either. That can't be a 3 anymore. That's 7, that's 8. These are not 7s. This could be 3, 4, or 6, not 4. This is 3 or 6. These are not 7s. So this is 3, 4, 5 along with this 3, 4. And then 1, 4, 5. Interesting. Not 1. 1, 4 pair. 8, of course. 9, 8, 6, 8. Not 6. I mean, we should probably start thinking about this 15 cage now. It means that there's two cells that add up to 9. It's 7, 2. I think that's it. 3 and 4 will not work. So that's 2, that's 7, that's 1, that's 4, that's 1. And this is not 7 or 8, that's a 9. And that's 3. That's not a 3, or a 4 for that matter. That's just 5. That does mean this is a 3, 4 pair now in the column. 3 in here gave me a 6 there, which gave me 1 and 6. And then 8 gave me 9 and 8. I need a 3 in here, which couldn't be in these two cells. 3, 7. 7 can only be there. This is 3, 9. That's 9. That's 3. Right. I think we've kind of broken this puzzle finally. Broken in the good sense that we've extracted a lot of logic out of it, and we can probably solve it from here. So 4, 5, 6 is there, and then 4, 5, 2 is here. No resolution. 7 can only be here in this box. It looks like it's just 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 4 means this is 2, 3 in the column. This is 5, 6, 7, I'm going to say. 6 and 7 give me 5, gives me 6, 7 pair. This is 6, 7, 9, not 6 or 7. That's just 9, 7, 6, 7. And then we have another 3, 4, and an 8. No resolution. So we need another 1, 2, 3 and another 8, 9. 9 is not here, 9 is not there, that's a 9. I can't resolve the 8, I'm not going to pencil mark the rest. Have I gotten all I can? No. I was going to say, have I gotten all I can from the variance? And the answer is no. 3, 4 pair gives me 2, 3, 2, and 1. There's a 3, 4 in here, a 3, 4 in fact 4. Come on, slew. 3, 4, 3, 4, 8 pair. Not resolved yet? Nope. Yes. No. That's fine. So I now need a 3, which can only be in here, an 8, which can only be there. The 1 at the bottom in here gave me 2 and 1. That hasn't resolved the 2, 3, but I think we're pretty much there now. Very clever puzzle. It's very involved, despite the fact that it's, I guess the right word would be, it is relatively straightforward. That 8 can't be in here, so that's the 8. That's the 4. That's the 5. That's the 4. That's the 5. But it really does require you to pay attention about what is available and systematically work your way through it. In here, it's got to be, I was going to say 5, 6, but it's not 5, 6. It's 6, 2, 6. That's 2. That's 6. That's 3. I need 8 and 7. 8 and, excuse me, that's the 8. 5. And then 1 is only here. 2 is there. 3 is here. 4 is there. 5 is here. And if I've not made any mistakes, that's a 7 for the finish. So another lovely puzzle, Mr. Sinclair. That's 2 puzzles for today. Hope that you guys enjoyed the puzzle and the video. And I'll see you back for the next one. Bye-bye for now.